This is a stand that I made for my Tascam DP008 recorder. It might actually fit the DP008EX, which is the newer model, but I don't know. The dimensions this way is about 9 inches, and down here is about 5 inches. So just check the specs on that and see if they're comparable to the DP008. Well, basically, I was just having a hard time just using the recorder like flat, like that. It just ergonomically, it's just not as visible, not as comfortable to use. And then I saw some stands or holders online, and they were just significantly more vertical. They were almost like this, it seemed. I didn't buy one, but it just kind of seemed like they're real up and down vertically like that compared to this angle. So I was fortunate enough to have some scraps of sheet metal, which I usually do, just little pieces, and this one especially fortunately had little lips on the edge here, and you can see how it goes up and it makes a nice little sort of area for the recorder so it doesn't slide back and forth like that from side to side. You could use wood for this, I'm sure, and then you would just put a piece of trim, you know, in that little area so that it doesn't slide back and forth. And for the legs, I used some drapery brackets. They're very inexpensive. For some reason, I just had a bunch of these, and I use them all the time for stuff. And then I used some non-skid tab material that I had. You can buy this anywhere, like again, the big box store, just non-skid stuff. And I just stuck that on there with contact adhesive. Pretty simple. This bottom lip, it's important to make sure that you don't run this lip all the way from side to side, because remember, you have condenser mics on either side of that recorder, so you've got to leave some space. And I let this stick out quite a ways because it's covered with felt, and I just want it to be real secure. This is a piece of, just again, scrap I got. It's aluminum that I had from the install of a shower door frame. And I stuck this on with some Gorilla Weld. I didn't use mechanical fasteners here. I'd use adhesive. I love Gorilla Weld. It's just like my favorite thing to play with now. It's a two-part. If you're not familiar with it, it's like epoxy, but it's a little bit thinner. It's not as thick as your regular two-part epoxy. It sets up pretty quick. So I set it up. And mixed it up and then spread it with a half a tongue depressor, and got it on there and held it in place because this sets up really quick. And it wasn't but a couple minutes, and this was definitely very firm. And then once I got all this done, is I grabbed on to, I used both hands, grabbed on, right hand here, left hand here, and I pushed down until I got the angle here. And, obviously I drilled some holes in the sheet metal and ran some screws here with lock washers and nuts. I think I had one lock nut here, but anyway, just simple. Drill some holes through, run these guys through, and make sure I use lock washers for that. And that worked really well. But then I was done with that and just pushed it down until I got my angle. Once all that manipulation was done, then I just took some semi-flat spray paint and sprayed it all and make it look real nice. And then once that was dry, I sprayed all these surfaces with contact adhesive, and then just carefully placed my felt, spread it out real nice, and then trimmed to fit. And boy, I tell you what, it really makes using this recorder so comfortable. Plenty of access to everything, and big difference. Probably if you were to buy everything individually from a big box store, you may be looking at $20 worth of materials there. So Anyway, think about it if you're into having a nice stand for your Tascam and you don't want the one that they have online already.